You know, I just adore Daniel from the Bible. There's something about his faith that's just inspiring. And the way he dealt with those lions. Talk about keeping your cool under pressure. Did you know he was also a dream interpreter? I mean, how cool is that? He was living in Babylon, right? And still managed to stay true to his beliefs. It's like he was the ultimate outsider, but in a good way. Sometimes, I think about throwing a Daniel diet challenge for the community. Only veggies and water for 10 days. What do you think? But seriously, his story is a great reminder for us. It shows that no matter where we are, we can make a difference by standing firm in our faith. Every time I read his story, I find something new to marvel at. It's like a treasure trove of faith, courage, and integrity. You know, the king's trust in Daniel wasn't just given. It was earned through consistent integrity and wisdom. Imagine being so trusted that you're placed over an entire kingdom. That's like the ultimate promotion. But not everyone was happy about it. Jealousy can make people do terrible things. They tried to use Daniel's faith against him, crafting a law they knew he'd never follow. Daniel, though, he didn't waver. Prayed just as he always did, windows open and all. And then, the lion's den. Can you imagine the faith it took to face that? But his faith protected him, not a scratch on him the next morning. It's a powerful testament, isn't it? How faith can literally save us. Makes me wonder, how strong is our faith? Would we stand firm like Daniel? Let's take that challenge to live a life of integrity and faith, no matter the lions we might face. It's truly unsettling how jealousy can cloud judgment, leading even to schemes that endanger lives. Those officials using the king's power for their own vendetta, it's a stark reminder of the dangers of manipulation. The law they proposed, it was cunning, wasn't it? Designed specifically to trap Daniel, exploiting his devout faith. Imagine the kind of pressure Daniel must have felt, knowing his practices could lead him to the lion's den. Yet his unwavering commitment to prayer, even in the face of such threats, is nothing short of awe-inspiring. It really makes you question, doesn't it? Would our own faith stand as strong under such testing? This story, it's a powerful lesson on integrity, showing us that true faith is not swayed by laws or decrees. Let's take this moment to reflect on our own actions. Are we living with the same kind of integrity and faith as Daniel? Even when Daniel knew it could cost him everything, he didn't hide his faith. He opened his windows and prayed, just as he always had. Can you imagine the courage that took, knowing the consequence could be the lion's den, yet choosing faith over fear? It wasn't just about defiance, you know. It was about trust. Daniel trusted God more than he feared the king's law. And when those officials found him praying, they must have thought they'd won. But in truth, they were merely setting the stage for a greater display of God's power. Going to the king, they were so sure of themselves. Their jealousy blinded them to the truth of Daniel's integrity and faith. But Daniel, he faced it all with such calm. It's like he knew God would not abandon him, even in the lion's den. It's a powerful reminder for us, isn't it? To pray without ceasing, even when the world seems against us. Let's be like Daniel, unafraid to show our faith, to live it openly, no matter the lions we might face in our own lives. It's a heart-wrenching moment, isn't it? The king, bound by his own decree, having to send Daniel into the lion's den. And yet, in that moment of despair, the king's words to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." It's a glimmer of hope, isn't it? Placing the stone over the den's mouth, sealing it with his ring. It symbolizes the finality of the world's judgment. But, as we know, God's judgment prevails. Can you imagine the night that followed? The king, restless, Daniel amidst lions. The tension is almost palpable. Yet this story teaches us an invaluable lesson about faith. Daniel, in the face of certain death, remains steadfast in his trust in God. And what a powerful message for us, especially in our times of trial. Daniel's faith was his shield, his unwavering belief that God would deliver him. Let us reflect on this, my friends. In our darkest moments, may we too find the courage to trust, to believe that we are not alone, that our faith will see us through. The king, restless and without sleep, his concern for Daniel showing the depth of their unexpected bond. Racing to the den at the first light of dawn, the urgency and hope in his voice. "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you from the lions?" Can you imagine the silence that followed? The breathless wait for an answer, any answer from the depths of that den. And then, Daniel's voice, calm and unwavering, "My God sent his angel and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me." The king's relief, palpable in the air, a testament to faith's power to bridge beliefs and change hearts. Such a miraculous night, wasn't it? Where faith was tested and divine protection was proven beyond doubt. It makes one ponder, how often do we underestimate the power of faith, the strength it gives us to face our own lions? Let's carry this lesson with us, to have faith that can move mountains, to trust in God's protection, no matter the den we find ourselves in. To hear Daniel's faith acknowledged by the king himself, it's both moving and a powerful testament to God's unwavering protection. Daniel's response to the king, it's a declaration of his innocence and unwavering faith. To be deemed innocent in the sight of God and man, isn't that something we all aspire to? It's a reminder to us all, isn't it? That our actions and our faith are visible not only to God, but to those around us. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, not because of wrongdoing, but because of his righteousness. It's a stark reminder that sometimes faith will be tested in ways we can't imagine. But look at the outcome. Not a single scratch, because God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths. If that's not a divine intervention, I don't know what is. This moment between Daniel and the king, it bridges faiths and shows that even those who may not share our beliefs can recognize the power of God's protection. Let us pray for the courage to face our own lions, whatever they may be, with the same faith and integrity as Daniel. And let's not forget, God's protection isn't just an ancient tale. It's a present promise, available to all who believe and call upon his name in times of need. May we all strive to live a life that, like Daniel's, bears witness to our faith and God's protective grace in every circumstance. And so the king, filled with joy and relief, commanded that Daniel be lifted from the den. Not a mark upon him, a true testament to his faith. Imagine the scene, my friends. Daniel emerging unscathed, his faith having shielded him from jaws and claws. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That when we place our trust in God, truly miraculous things can happen. But let's not forget the fate of the jealous officials. They were thrown into the very den they intended for Daniel. It's a sobering thought on the consequences of envy and deceit. Their end came swiftly, devoured by the lions, a stark contrast to Daniel's divine protection. This story, it's not just about the miracle of survival, it's about integrity, faith, and the justice of God. Let us take from this not only the awe of Daniel's deliverance, but also the wisdom to walk in faith and integrity, trusting in God's plan for us. What a monumental decree from King Darius, acknowledging the power of the living God. This is not just a victory for Daniel, but for all who believe in the might and mercy of God. To think, the decree commands reverence for God, showcasing his ability to rescue and save. It's a beautiful testament to God's enduring presence, performing signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. Imagine the impact this decree had, urging an entire kingdom to fear and reverence the God of Daniel. This truly shows how one man's faith can lead to a shift in a nation's spiritual landscape. Let's take this moment to reflect on our own faith. Are we ready to stand firm, like Daniel, in the face of adversity? May this story inspire us to live a life that could move kings and kingdoms towards God. After everything, Daniel's faith wasn't just for him. It became a beacon for an entire kingdom. To continue serving with such honour and respect, it really shows the impact of living a faithful life, doesn't it? Imagine the conversations at the king's court. Remember Daniel, the man who survived the lions because of his God. Daniel's example teaches us something vital. Faithfulness influences not just our lives, but those around us. And to think, his faith in God's protection was so strong, it reached the heart of a king. That's the power of true belief. Let's strive to be like Daniel, respected and honoured, not for our titles, but for our unwavering faith. In a way, Daniel's life was a sermon without words. His actions preached louder than any of us could with mere speech. So my friends, let's ask ourselves, are we living examples of our faith, like Daniel,